What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And here we're going to go over a lot of information having to do with the home sector. We see that, I'm sure all of you are feeling the crunch right now. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Rents are going up, homes are going up, but this chart right here kind of illustrates the insanity of what's happening right now. Per Bank of America, it's cheaper to rent in 95 of 97 major metropolises. metropolises. Sorry. There's never been a worse time to buy. Plus, commissions are finally poised to break appreciably lower. Here we see the gap between the monthly cost to buy a house and the monthly apartment rent is the highest on record. So the monthly cost to buy a house is nearly almost $2,800, and rent is nearly $1,900. This is one of the largest gaps on record. I was talking to a friend of mine who lives on the western side of Washington, near Seattle, and one of his friends was, looking around, seeing if they could buy a house. Obviously, mortgage rates are 8%. He said a $300,000 house was unlivable. That just goes to show like the insanity of the prices in Seattle. And a $300,000 house, just the mortgage alone without any of the other costs associated with it would be around $2,300. It would vary based on how much you put down for a down payment. But assuming you, let's say, didn't put anything down, that's really high. For a home that's not even livable, no, it's crazy. It's utter ridiculousness. Here is temporary help requirement that is contracting. And usually this metric is contracting at recessionary levels, and which would go to show that temporary help requirements are decreasing, suggesting that there's weak demand. So, there's temp workers at companies that are hired on, and you see that it usually takes a big dip right around these recessionary periods. And look at the charts, and there's a lot of people that talk and kind of show what's going on, but I think there's something coming. There's something coming. And I think we're going to get, this 2030 agenda is full-fledged onward. And when they tell you who they are, you need to believe them, right? When they say you'll own nothing and be happy, what does that mean? How do you get there? And I think it's something where you kind of become a renter's nation. And how do you do that? Well, you make purchases of assets, things that you'd actually own, unachievable, so that you're constantly just having to rent it from someone else, right? That's how you achieve that. And now you never really own your thing. And owning a house, you always pay property taxes on it. And if you can't pay your property taxes, then your home can be taken away. So no matter if you've paid it in full, you still have that for the rest of your life, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, anyways, moving on to the next thing. So this is a very interesting thread. I want you to take a listen here. My system is flashing signals of concern, and just to kind of give you a background here, he collects his own data, this account, and he puts out a lot of interesting information. I highly recommend for you guys to check it out. But I really like his analysis. He says, my system is flashing signals of concern. Credit aggregates, trade, and a multitude of internal labor components show alarming rates of change only seen in contractions. These realities are not yet reflected by top-line consumption and payroll figures, despite multiple negative revisions to the latter. So payroll figures have been dropping. Okay, but you're not seeing it yet, is what he's saying. Historically, headline job tallies remain afloat until 2 to 3 months into official recessions. So you won't see it. It'll look like it's all fine, and then 2 or 3 months into an official recession, you'll start to see the changes being reflected on there. As I've said, credit has been stifled at a rate heretofore unseen. Business loan growth has been negative since April. In past eras, tightening of credit has led unemployment acceleration by 6 to 8 months on average. So if you think about it, April, that was 7 months ago, we're between that 6 to 8 month period. And you're starting to see unemployment accelerate. I've shown it in previous videos in the charts where it's starting to take a turn right now. And I believe at some point in 2024, you'll see that acceleration take place. Wage growth has been robust versus prior eras. However, a blend of hourly earnings plus weekly hours worked shows a composite laborer whose nominal income growth is slowing at a faster rate than any pre-recession window. Serious delinquency in autos is currently 90 basis points above the average rate after 20 months of Fed tightening. In CCs, we've just surpassed the average, the latest figures from New York Fed. Pay attention to rates of change and breadth, not just in markets, but in econ measures like jobless claims by state and hours worked across the sectors. We're entering a window through end of year that 1 to 2 years from now, we may very well be where the first gray bars of recession appear on the chart. So you're saying that that time period that we're currently entering in right now through the end of the year, when we look back on it 1 to 2 years from now, we will look back on this specific time period as the very first signals of being in a recession. Like this is when we entered it officially. And he goes into this tweet where he was saying the credit edifice has been entirely choked off. Real estate loan creation is the second lowest in history before a recession. Consumer loan creation is the third lowest. Business loan creation is the lowest. Overall bank loan creation is the lowest. So there's a lot of what he's saying. And you're starting to see those effects take place, folks. Now is not the time to go spending or be putting a lot of money on things you don't need. You need to cut back in order to make ends meet for what's coming. You got to stay prepared. Retail sales adjusted for inflation has gone basically nowhere for 32 months. The last big increase was the final of the 3 stimmy checks in March 2021, flat ever since. So, it's only gone up and it's stayed basically leveled. No changes really. Not good for the consumer. Credit is a primary transmission mechanism for rate policy. When lending slows, it's only a matter of time before the economy catches up, right? So with these interest rates, the economy is lagging behind it, okay? So right now, you're not feeling currently the 5% plus interest rates that the Federal Reserve has. You're feeling about 6 to 12 months ago of interest rates. So the economy is a laggard, and it'll eventually catch up. And you see here, he says slowdowns in credit typically lead rises in unemployment by 5 to 8 months. The 22-23 era has halted credit quicker than ever before, and he shows the different years. And yeah, we're starting to take a turn. Okay. Another day, another housing market record. New monthly mortgage payments have skyrocketed, nearing $3,000 per month, levels never seen before. This is happening when 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You can see, this is unsustainable. It can't keep going on. What do you expect from something like this? Nothing good. This is the most unaffordable housing market in 30 years. And then, I hate charts like this. Whenever it's not at zero, it kind of skews the chart and it makes it look a lot more drastic than it is. I really dislike that. But anyways, you can see that since 89, this is the lowest level since then. It's unaffordable right now for most people. So, Alrighty. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. I hope this data is useful for you. Share with other people. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one, everyone.